In the bustling heart of our modern world, a silent threat grows. Pollution is not always visible. It often exists in stealthier forms, invisible to the naked eye. These unseen threats lurk in the air we breathe, the water we drink, and the food we eat. Awareness is the first step towards change. By understanding these threats, we can protect our health and environment. The insidious nature of pollution lies in its ability to infiltrate our lives unnoticed. We go about our daily routines, unaware of the microscopic particles and chemical compounds invading our bodies with every breath, every sip, and every bite. This silent invasion is a global phenomenon affecting people of all ages, backgrounds, and walks of life.
The sources of this invisible threat are numerous and varied. Industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, agricultural runoff, and even everyday household products contribute to the growing burden of pollution in our environment. As our global population continues to grow, so too does our demand for energy, resources, and convenience, often at the expense of environmental health.
The consequences of this silent invasion are becoming increasingly apparent. Respiratory illnesses, cardiovascular disease, cancer, and a host of other chronic conditions have been linked to exposure to various forms of pollution. Children, with their developing bodies and immune systems, are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of environmental toxins.
The true extent of the damage caused by pollution is still being uncovered. Scientists and researchers are constantly working to understand the complex interplay between environmental exposures and human health. The more we learn, the clearer it becomes that the threat posed by pollution is not to be underestimated.
Awareness and action are crucial. By recognizing the silent invasion, we can begin to take steps to protect ourselves and future generations. The rise of industrialization and technological advancement, while bringing about undeniable progress, has also come at a cost. The pursuit of convenience and economic growth has often led to the exploitation of natural resources and the disregard for environmental consequences. The very air we breathe, the water we depend on, and the food that sustains us have become tainted by the byproducts of our progress.
The consequences of this environmental degradation extend far beyond the realm of human health. Pollution threatens the delicate balance of ecosystems, endangering plant and animal life. It contributes to climate change, with far-reaching implications for the planet's future. The price of progress, it seems, is often paid in the currency of environmental degradation and compromised health.
Yet amidst these challenges there is hope. Awareness of the dangers posed by pollution is growing, and with it, a collective desire for change. Individuals, communities, and governments around the world are taking steps to mitigate pollution, transition to cleaner energy sources, and promote sustainable practices.
The journey towards a cleaner, healthier future is not without its obstacles. It requires a fundamental shift in our mindset, a move away from short-term gains towards long-term sustainability. It demands collective action, with individuals, industries, and governments working together to address this global challenge. The time to act is now, for the sake of our health, the well-being of future generations, and the preservation of our planet.
Progress must be redefined. True progress is sustainable and mindful of the environment. The air we breathe, seemingly invisible yet vital, often carries a hidden menace: air pollution. This insidious threat infiltrates our homes, workplaces, and even remote corners of the globe. Air pollution poses significant health risks, with far-reaching consequences for individuals and the planet.
Unlike visible smoke, many forms of air pollution remain hidden from view. Microscopic particles and harmful gases silently enter our bodies with every breath. These unseen pollutants travel vast distances, making air pollution a global challenge.
The sources of air pollution are diverse. Industrial emissions, vehicle exhaust, and natural events all degrade air quality. Urban traffic congestion creates pollution hotspots, exposing millions to harmful levels.
Indoor air quality can be equally concerning. Indoor pollutants come from building materials, furniture, cleaning products, and cooking. Poor ventilation can trap these pollutants, posing health risks, especially for vulnerable individuals.
Awareness and proactive measures are key. By addressing both outdoor and indoor air pollution, we can protect our health and improve our quality of life.
the silent killer particulate matter. PM2.5, fine particulate matter is a silent killer. These tiny particles penetrate deep into our lungs, causing serious health issues.
Sources include vehicle exhaust, industrial emissions, and natural events. PM2.5 can travel long distances, affecting distant communities.
Inhalation triggers health problems. Particles lodge in lungs, causing inflammation. This worsens asthma and bronchitis.
PM2.5 affects more than just lungs. Long-term exposure increases cardiovascular risks. Particles enter bloodstream, causing heart issues.
Awareness and action are crucial. Understand risks, reduce exposure, protect health.
Trapped indoors, the hidden dangers within. Indoor air quality can be just as concerning as outdoor pollution. Pollutants like VOCs and formaldehyde from household products pose health risks. Mold in damp areas can trigger allergies and respiratory issues. Proper ventilation and moisture control are crucial. Awareness and proactive measures can create healthier environments. A global health crisis. The consequences of air pollution extend far beyond individual health, constituting a global health crisis of staggering proportions. The World Health Organization estimates that air pollution is responsible for millions of premature deaths each year, rivaling the toll of smoking, malnutrition, and infectious diseases combined.
Low and middle-income countries bear a disproportionate burden of air pollution-related deaths, with the vast majority occurring in regions with high levels of industrialization, urbanization, and reliance on fossil fuels. However, air pollution knows no boundaries, and even in developed nations, millions suffer from the health consequences of breathing polluted air.
Children are particularly vulnerable to the harmful effects of air pollution. Their developing bodies and respiratory systems are more susceptible to damage from pollutants, and exposure during critical developmental stages can have lifelong consequences. Studies have linked air pollution to a range of childhood health problems, including asthma, reduced lung function, respiratory infections, and even impaired cognitive development.
Beyond the immediate health impacts, air pollution carries significant economic costs. Increased healthcare expenditures, reduced productivity due to illness, and premature deaths all contribute to a substantial economic burden on societies grappling with the consequences of air pollution. Addressing this global health crisis requires a multifaceted approach encompassing stricter air quality regulations, cleaner energy production, sustainable transportation systems, and individual actions to reduce our environmental footprint.
Collective action is essential. By working together, we can tackle this global health crisis and create a healthier future for all. Breathing easier steps towards cleaner air. While the scale of the air pollution problem may seem daunting, there are concrete steps we can take as individuals, communities, and global citizens to mitigate this threat and breathe easier. From advocating for policy changes to making conscious choices in our daily lives, we can all contribute to cleaner air and a healthier future.
Supporting stricter air quality regulations and transitioning to cleaner energy sources are essential steps in reducing emissions from power plants, industries, and vehicles. Investing in public transportation, promoting cycling and walking, and opting for fuel-efficient vehicles can significantly reduce our reliance on cars, a major source of air pollution in urban areas.
Within our homes, we can improve indoor air quality by ensuring proper ventilation, choosing low VOC paints, furniture, and cleaning products, and avoiding the use of air fresheners, which often contain harmful chemicals. Regularly cleaning our homes to remove dust, pet dander, and other allergens can also contribute to healthier indoor air.
Raising awareness about the dangers of air pollution and advocating for change are crucial steps in tackling this global challenge. By staying informed, engaging in dialogue, and supporting organizations working towards cleaner air, we can amplify our voices and push for solutions that protect our health and the health of our planet. Every breath we take is a reminder of the importance of clean air, and together we can create a future where everyone has the right to breathe easy.
The illusion of purity, water, the elixir of life, shapes landscapes and sustains ecosystems. We use it for drinking, cleaning, and irrigation, yet beneath the surface, a hidden crisis simmers: water pollution.
The illusion of purity shatters with unseen contaminants. Crystal clear water can harbor pollutants like microplastics. These invisible threats infiltrate our water sources.
The unseen invaders, from industry to our taps. Water pollution often begins far from the pristine streams we envision. Factories hum with activity, producing goods that fuel our world. This productivity generates byproducts that threaten water quality.
Heavy metals like lead and mercury are toxic and accumulate in the environment. These metals contaminate drinking water, posing health risks. Lead damages the nervous system, while mercury impairs cognitive function. Microplastic pollution has emerged as a significant threat, infiltrating aquatic ecosystems worldwide. These tiny particles are found from the deepest ocean trenches to remote mountain lakes. Their omnipresence highlights the challenge of mitigating plastic pollution.
Microplastics come from various sources, including larger debris breaking down and microbeads in personal care products. The consequences are vast, with potential harm to marine life and human health. Microplastics can absorb pollutants, moving up the food chain. Marine organisms ingest these particles, leading to physical and chemical hazards.
Water pollution casts a long shadow over human health and well-being. Contaminants in water pose hidden risks over a lifetime of exposure.
Heavy metals can accumulate in the body, causing chronic health problems. Lead damages the brain and nervous system, especially in children. Mercury and arsenic exposure can impair cognitive function and increase cancer risk.
Chemical pollutants from industry and agriculture threaten human health. Pesticides can disrupt endocrine function and increase cancer risk. Continued research and precautionary measures are needed to protect public health. The challenges posed by water pollution may seem daunting, but solutions exist. Protecting our water sources is a fundamental responsibility. Investing in advanced wastewater treatment technologies is crucial. Implementing stricter regulations on industrial discharges and agricultural runoff can reduce contaminants. Promoting sustainable agricultural practices minimizes environmental impact. Transitioning to a circular economy reduces pollutants.
As individuals, we can make conscious choices for cleaner water. Supporting organizations working to protect water resources is meaningful. By raising awareness, we can inspire others to safeguard this precious resource.
From farm to fork, a journey marred by contamination. The journey of our food, from fertile fields to our tables, is complex and often perilous. Our food system is vulnerable to contamination at multiple points along the way. Pollution often taints what should nourish us, compromising our health.
Contamination is a systemic issue rooted in industrial agriculture, global trade, and chemical use. Pesticides, heavy metals, and microplastics infiltrate our food chain, posing hidden risks.
Practices to increase productivity often come at a cost to our health. Synthetic fertilizers boost yields but cause nutrient runoff and dead zones. Pesticides persist in the environment, accumulating in soil and water.
Global food trade increases complexity in tracing food origins and ensuring safety. Food travels long distances, creating opportunities for contamination. This journey creates contamination risks from production to storage. Lack of transparency in supply chains makes identifying contamination sources challenging.
The chemical feast pesticides, herbicides, and their toxic legacy. Modern agriculture relies heavily on pesticides and herbicides to protect crops, but these chemicals pose significant risks to human health and the environment. Pesticides can contaminate water sources and harm beneficial insects like bees, essential for pollination.
Glyphosate, a common herbicide, is controversial due to potential health risks. Regulatory agencies are divided on its safety, with some banning its use.
Heavy metal harvest. When the Earth's bounty turns toxic, The soil that sustains life can harbor hidden dangers in the form of heavy metals. These elements can contaminate crops and livestock, posing threats to human health.
Heavy metals like lead, mercury, arsenic, and cadmium enter the food chain. Industrial activities release heavy metals into the environment. Agricultural practices also contribute to contamination.
Contaminated soil leads to heavy metals in plants. Animals grazing on contaminated vegetation pass metals to humans. Water sources can also be contaminated.
Health effects vary by metal and exposure. Lead damages the brain, especially in children. Mercury impairs cognitive function. Arsenic increases cancer risk. Cadmium damages kidneys and bones. Food contamination from pesticides and microplastics is a challenge, but solutions exist for a safer, sustainable food system. Policy changes, technology, and consumer behavior shifts are key. Embrace practices prioritizing health and sustainability.
Agroecological farming reduces reliance on synthetic chemicals. Support local food systems for transparency and traceability.
Stricter regulations protect water sources from contamination. Invest in advanced wastewater treatment technologies. Reduce plastic waste through bans and reusable alternatives.
Consumers can drive change through food choices. Support organic agriculture to reduce chemical exposure. Choose sustainably sourced seafood to protect marine ecosystems. Stay informed, demand transparency, and support sustainable brands.
Our lives are adorned with electronic devices, each emitting electromagnetic radiation, creating an invisible sea of energy. These EMFs permeate our homes, workplaces, and public spaces, surrounding us every moment.
We marvel at the convenience, yet a whisper of concern about health effects lingers. The airwaves hum with wireless signals, raising questions about unintended consequences.
The allure of convenience often blinds us to the potential trade-offs inherent in our embrace of technology. We readily adopt new devices and gadgets, marveling at their ability to simplify our lives, connect us with loved ones, and entertain us with endless streams of information and entertainment. Yet, amidst the excitement of each technological leap, we rarely pause to consider the long-term consequences of our choices, particularly the potential health effects of constant exposure to electromagnetic radiation.
Our homes, once havens of respite from the outside world, have become microcosms of our electrified lives. We surround ourselves with devices that emit EMFs, often placing them in close proximity to our bodies for extended periods. We sleep with our smartphones on our nightstands, their blue light disrupting our sleep patterns and their electromagnetic emissions bathing our brains in a constant stream of low-level radiation throughout the night.
Children, with their developing bodies and brains, may be particularly vulnerable to the effects of EMF exposure. They spend countless hours glued to screens, playing video games, watching videos, and interacting with friends online. The long-term consequences of this constant exposure to EMFs are still being investigated, but some studies have suggested a potential link between early life exposure and an increased risk of certain types of cancer, behavioral problems, and sleep disorders.
The workplace, too, reflects our growing reliance on technology, and with it, our constant exposure to EMFs. Computers, printers, copiers, and fluorescent lighting all emit electromagnetic radiation, creating an invisible web of energy that envelops us throughout the workday. While occupational safety standards exist for some types of EMF exposure, the rapid pace of technological change often outpaces our ability to assess and mitigate potential risks.
The advent of wireless technology has ushered in an era of unprecedented connectivity, freeing us from the constraints of wires and cables, yet entangling us in a complex and ever-expanding web of electromagnetic signals. The airwaves, once the domain of radio and television broadcasts, now carry a cacophony of data, voice, and entertainment, as we navigate a world increasingly reliant on wireless communication.
Wireless routers, once a novelty, have become ubiquitous fixtures in homes, offices, and public spaces, beaming internet signals to our laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Bluetooth technology connects our headphones, speakers, and other devices, creating a personal bubble of wireless connectivity. Smart appliances from refrigerators to thermostats communicate wirelessly, promising greater convenience and efficiency, yet adding to the invisible electromagnetic tapestry of our lives.
The proliferation of cell towers, essential for maintaining mobile phone service, has also raised concerns about potential health effects. While the radio frequency, RF, radiation emitted by cell phones and cell towers is considered non-ionizing, meaning it lacks the energy to break chemical bonds in DNA, some studies have suggested a possible link between long-term exposure and an increased risk of certain types of brain tumors.
The scientific community continues to grapple with the complexities of EMF exposure, and research on the potential health effects is ongoing. While definitive answers remain elusive, the precautionary principle, which advocates for erring on the side of caution when dealing with potential environmental health risks, suggests that it is prudent to minimize our exposure to EMFs, particularly from sources we can control.
The invisible nature of electromagnetic fields, coupled with the rapid pace of technological change and the complexities of studying long-term health effects, has created an enigma surrounding EMF exposure. Scientists continue to grapple with the uncertainties, weighing the potential risks against the undeniable benefits of technologies that have become deeply integrated into our lives.
The debate over EMF safety often hinges on the distinction between ionizing and non-ionizing radiation. Ionizing radiation, such as X-rays and gamma rays, carries enough energy to knock electrons off atoms, potentially damaging DNA and increasing the risk of cancer. Non-ionizing radiation, which includes the radio frequency waves emitted by cell phones and Wi-Fi routers, lacks this ability to directly damage DNA.
However, the absence of direct DNA damage does not necessarily equate to complete safety. Some studies have suggested that non-ionizing radiation, particularly at higher frequencies and intensities, can have biological effects, such as heating body tissues, altering cellular function, and disrupting sleep patterns. The long-term consequences of these effects, particularly for children who are more vulnerable due to their developing bodies and longer potential for exposure, are still being investigated.
Adding to the complexity, individuals vary in their sensitivity to EMFs. Some people report experiencing headaches, fatigue, sleep disturbances, and other symptoms when exposed to electromagnetic fields, a phenomenon known as electromagnetic hypersensitivity, EHS. While EHS is not a recognized medical diagnosis, the World Health Organization acknowledges that some individuals experience these symptoms and that more research is needed to understand the underlying causes.
In a world increasingly reliant on technology and saturated with electromagnetic fields, finding sanctuary from EMF exposure may seem like an impossible dream. However, while we cannot completely escape the invisible web of energy that surrounds us, we can take proactive steps to mitigate our exposure, particularly from sources within our control.
Reducing our reliance on wireless devices and opting for wired connections whenever possible is a simple yet effective way to minimize exposure to radio frequency radiation. Using a wired headset or speakerphone when talking on a cell phone can significantly reduce the amount of RF radiation absorbed by the brain. Keeping our distance from electronic devices, particularly at night, can reduce our exposure during sleep.
Creating EMF-free zones within our homes, such as bedrooms and areas where children spend a lot of time, can provide a sanctuary from constant exposure. Turning off Wi-Fi routers at night, unplugging electronic devices when not in use, and choosing low EMF appliances can further reduce our electromagnetic footprint.
While the science surrounding EMF exposure continues to evolve, taking a precautionary approach, minimizing our exposure whenever possible, and advocating for greater transparency and research on the potential health effects can empower us to make informed choices that protect our well-being in a hyper-connected world. Pollution is a silent threat in our modern lives. From the air we breathe to the water we drink, pollutants compromise our health. This is a call to action for a healthier, sustainable future.
Awareness is the first step towards change. Understanding pollution helps us make informed choices.
A cleaner world requires individual actions and policy changes. Choose reusable alternatives, support sustainable agriculture, advocate for cleaner energy and responsible waste management.
Every small step creates a collective impact. Embrace shared responsibility for a healthier planet.